Since 2009, I've made it my duty to understand human behavior. And one of the main reasons why was the people that I was growing up around, they were extremely depressed, suicidal, and even some committed suicide. And I couldn't understand at that time why and how. I mean, the journey led way before 2009. It probably went back to the 90s. Actually, it did go back to the 90s. But I actively made it my life journey to understand why. Why do people do what they do? What is it about their emotions or feelings, or maybe if it was biological, why do they do what they do? And you can imagine there's many different reasons why people do what they do, especially commit suicide. But I want to point out one thing. I want to look at one thing today. One of the reasons why it is important for us to understand why people do what they do is social media. Now, I'm going to address the men for this particular conversation. When a woman is online and she cries or she shows vulnerability, the world, rightfully so may I add, rallies around her and they support her. And human beings, mammals, they need group interaction in order for them to get through the pain, the struggles, the tribulations, the trauma. But what I've come to discover is when men show their vulnerability online, they get laughed at, gulped, chastised, they become a meme. Why is that a problem? Because when a man stops sharing how he feels externally, the journey of him dying becomes internally, and to it manifests externally. I'm going to show you let's say three examples of vulnerability online. And then, because I don't want to be a part of it, then I want you to research the outcome of those interactions of vulnerability online and see how they're treated differently. What you will discover, I'll tell you now because I've researched it, that when women show their vulnerability online, they are supported. When men show their vulnerability online, they are laughed at. And this leads to suicide. Not in all cases, but definitely depression and potential suicide. So I'm going to give you an example of a well-known presenter and actor who showed her vulnerability online, rightfully so, and she was supported. Please research it for yourself. Then I'm going to give you some examples of men showing their vulnerability online, and you'll discover the other happened, the other side, the nasty side. So let me give you an example of a woman showing her vulnerability on side. Now, these are the two twins. This is one of the twins. If you remember, Sister back in the days, they had a show, and one name was Tia and one was Tamara. And one of the sisters now has gone on to have a show with some other amazing ladies called The Real. So let's look at what's happened on The Real, and then we'll go on from there.
Before we get into girl chat,
Sit on down, y'all.
we just want to give a warm welcome back to our girl, Tamara.
She's back.
She's back.
Yes.
Tam, I think I speak for all of us when I say we've missed you so very, very
Yes.
much.
I'm
It's
young.
the same without you at this table.
No,
you know,
it's not. Ladies.
like I said,
You
they
guys
talk
rock.
a lot. But anyway,
I miss just feeling you, and every time we have a joke, Tamara puts her nail inside my thigh.
Exactly.
I sure
I
miss
miss
that over here.
I sure do.
but we miss you very much, and we need to know, we want to ask, how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Our family's been through a lot,
Yeah.
but the interesting thing about grief is that you've got to find the balance of moving forward and grieving at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been a little over 2 weeks.
You have a
She would
strong
want me,
support
yes.
system, right?
She would want me to be here, and She would want me, sweet Elena, to move forward. I don't like to say move on, because I don't think I'll ever move on with the fact that she's not here with me or with our family. But she would want me to move forward and to use her voice as a catalyst for change. And that's why I'm here today.
That's right.
So, as you see, she's clearly in distraught. She's in distress. She's grieving. Someone that she cares about clearly has passed away. And my condolence to her and the family and the friends as well. And so, as you see, and please do the research behind the scenes, overwhelming support. Those are what may seem small when you show someone comfort, support, and understanding when someone's hurting, no matter how you measure the hurt. They are the things that gets the person through the trials and tribulations, the depression, the potential suicidal thoughts. When a man online expresses himself, it's the complete opposite. And what people don't realize is where it brings that man. That man can end up in a very dark place. So I'm going to give you another example. And most of you has probably seen the memes, the laughs, the giggles before with this example. He's an actor as well, singer. And once again, he's known to the public, but the reaction and how he was treated is completely different. So let's have a look and then we'll go from there.
So I'm saying this to all of the fathers. You know, compassion is being able to understand the seat and the reality that someone else is sitting in. That's compassion. It's not about the seat that you're sitting in, The Rock. It's about the seat that everybody's sitting in. You know, look at this. Shayla, my first and only pregnancy. To this day. Well, I got another one on the way, but he's not here yet. Look at this. You take my one from me. I'm not gonna sit here and paint the picture of systematic racism. I'm just gonna say that the uninvolved fathers has made it bad for the involved fathers because our voices are some way, somehow being drowned out. When the real fathers show up, when the real fathers that really love their kids and really are standing with their babies are there, because they're in the presence of so many fathers who may not care or being accused of not caring, they're not able to tell the difference between the good ones and the bad ones, between the criminals and the men of God, the Muslims.
So clearly what we see here, I'm going to get back to you just as in a sec, but clearly what we see here is Tyrese, the singer, the actor, going through pain. He's experiencing the fact that he can't see his child. Now, we're not going to get into the politics of that because who knows what the circumstance and situation is behind the scenes. But we're just talking about this just for a moment from a perspective of a man who is hurting publicly. So I'm going to forward it a bit further on because it's a fairly long video and we don't really have the time to go through the whole video. But please go on YouTube and watch the full video in its entirety. So I'm going to try and forward it along as much as I can. And we'll go from there. So let's look for this now at the right place. Okay.
On one thing. take my baby, please. Don't take my baby. Don't take my baby. Oh, this is all I got. This is all I got. This is all I got. Don't take my baby, okay? I've been away from my baby for 2 months. I just want my baby. I just want my baby. And no one's listening because no one's in the courtroom. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not doing anything illegal, but I don't want nobody. Oh my God, am I doing something illegal by doing this video, or am I protected by the First Right Amendment or the amendment? Don't take my baby. I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me?
Okay, so as you see, he's going through clear pain and distress. The millions of memes, the jokes, the replays, the remixes is overwhelming. I'm not going to add to the bonfire, so I'm not going to play them or any of them. If you want, you go and look for yourself, but you will see the clear difference between when a man shows his pain, he becomes a joke, he becomes a laugh. When a woman shows his pain, there's sympathy and there's empathy. Now, this is a major problem here because the rate of male suicide deaths is a lot higher than female suicide deaths. And there's a reason behind it. And sometimes people believe that because you're a man, because you're a male, you can endure what comes along. But there's certain things about the biology of being a man, the psychology of being a man, the environmental troubles and journeys of being a man is a different journey than being a woman. And when men suffer in silence, men will die in silence, or they may explode, and many people are harmed in the process. We need to be more supportive towards everyone. But because this conversation is about what men are experiencing, what men go through, we need to be more supportive and pensive and understanding towards what men are going through. I'm going to give you another example. This was shared even more than the previous video of Tyrese. Once again, a father and a son showing their pain, but to some it's funny, to them it's traumatizing, and when it's been shared millions of times, when it's been the butt of every joke, it causes even more trauma. And I tell you what it also does as well. It makes other men look in and see those men put up on the cross and crucified publicly, and it makes the other man look in who is also going through his trauma and his trials and tribulations. It makes him say to himself, I'm not going to put myself in that situation. I don't want to be the butt of everyone's joke. So I'm going to keep to myself what I'm experiencing. And if most people understand trauma, psychological trauma, emotional trauma, pain, depression, if most people understand it, they would know that's the last thing you should do, is to isolate yourself into a corner, confined into your bed, into your room, and just disappear, because you will eventually die of some form of, maybe it's a dis-ease, maybe it'll be psychological, and maybe it becomes physical, but you will die. Sometimes it just, you would not physically die, but your life is over. And so expression is important, but people don't want to be, and we can't afford for people to isolate themselves, because when they express, they become the butt of everyone's joke. So let me give you another example of males expressing themselves online, and once again, research it for yourself. I'm not going to add to the bonfire, but what happens when men show their vulnerability, their vulnerable side online.
Oh,
somewhere deep.
So let me just give you a backstory to that very quickly. As I said, sorry about this. A man is going through pain, and I believe the father has gone through so much. I think he may have been on drugs, etc. He was away from his children. They've grown up, and they finally come together as a reunion. They have that conversation, and there's that emotional breakdown that has come from it. Let's go back.
Because I know somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
So when you watch, I mean, go online to watch the full video of it. But I think what you will discover once you found the video is all the jokes and the memes that comes under that, and it's painful to watch. There was a guy many years ago. He made a bad decision, rightfully so. Bad decision, we all can say. This was probably at least 8 years ago now. I can't remember what year exactly, but it's about 8 years ago. So it was a good time. And it was around New Year's. This was in London. He, drunk with his partner, performed a sexual act on a stairs outside of a nightclub. When he performed that act, someone recorded it, as you do, social media, and obviously it was more of the earlier days than now, how people picked up their phones and record every little thing that they interact with. But nevertheless, it was recorded. He went down on his partner, his girlfriend at the time, and it was filmed. So I think one of his friends or someone close to him filmed it, and then it went online. When it went online, I mean, you name it, it was shared millions and millions of times. He'll be walking down the road, and this was footage afterwards, and people run up behind him and laugh at him, and the guy was in clear distress and pain. Every single year, around that time, I think it's New Year's, they play the video back, they show memes, they've got pictures of him, and it's every single year. You made a bad decision, fair enough, bad move. But every single year, New Year's, his picture returns, the videos return. It's like he's more celebrated than what Christmas stands for. It's like he's more celebrated than what Easter stands for and all what comes with Easter. As soon as New Year comes back around again, his picture comes up, the videos come back, the memes, all of that comes. People don't know what is happening behind the scenes to this man. His family have to endure it. His children have to endure it. If he gets into a new relationship, that comes to visit. And with that relationship, her friends, her family sees it. People are absolutely ruthless in society. In the name of entertainment, they will happily watch someone's life demise. They will happily, in the name of entertainment, watch the journey of suicide and depression. It's very dangerous, the games that we play in society in the name of wanting to entertain ourselves or be the forerunner of the new joke. But what people don't understand is what other people are experiencing behind the scenes. The depression, the anger, the doubt, the worry, the suicide, the suicidal thoughts. I believe in order to help our men grow, we need to allow our men to make mistakes, and we need to allow our men to express their vulnerabilities. If we don't, our boys won't become men, and our men won't fulfill what needs to be fulfilled. And we will all be to blame in one form or another if we share what we see, if we like what we see, if we laugh at what we see, if we take pictures or videos of what we see and then we post them for the gratification of ourselves and others. I want you to really think about that. Thank you very much.